Hi guys, thank you so much for coming to my channel. For those of you who are returning, welcome back. For those of you who are stopping for the first time to check out my channel, I'm glad you're here. It's so great to have so many of you subscribed and just, I'm hoping this means that you like what I have to say, but more than that, it's helpful. And that's the whole reason why I do this, is if I can help share what's helped me with others and then it can help them as well, then that's the whole reason for doing what I do. So I don't know if it was just the spirit saying wear this today or what it was, but as you can see, it looks as though the dress I have on has the galaxies printed on it, which I thought was so cool. I found it in a charity shop, I think last week it was. And I had to grab it. I don't know, it called out to me. I don't know what it is. I don't mean to sound odd, but I got this feeling like when I first saw it, the pattern made me think of how vast the universe is, how amazing it is that God made it all. And yet, out of all the galaxies and the solar system and, the Milky Way, all of that, out of all of that, God is interested in my life. Like, that's amazing. That's crazy, right? It's not just me, I don't think, is it? Nah, it can't be. It's not just me. That to me is incredible, right? So I don't know what that means exactly, but I'm thankful and I'm glad to be a part of things. So I was trying to figure out what I wanted to share today. And there's always so many things to be thankful for and to share, obviously. When I woke up this morning, it was like 15 Celsius, and it was overcast, it was gray, and it was actually raining on and off for most of the morning. I had to go out. I have an electric power chair, which was picked up yesterday, being serviced, kind of getting its MOT done, if you will, and I get it back tomorrow. I had some things I had to go out and grab today. So my younger son was good enough to push me in my wheelchair, my manual chair, around the corner, up the hill, and down and back. So, so it wasn't raining then, but it definitely was feeling overcast and kind of like any minute now, it's going to start raining. And of course, we got home safely, didn't get rained on, thank goodness. And within the last half an hour, looking outside now, the skies are blue and clear, and the gray clouds are moving away from Colchester, which is fantastic. That's amazing. And I think it's about 17 degrees Celsius out right now. And it just, I don't know, between the weather changing and just looking at, look, I'll stand up and see if I can, you see, like, I don't know what the planets are, which planets they are, or exactly any of that, but just reminds me of the amazing, incredible power of God every day in life, and how He's always with us. He's always with me. So, I am Megan, the faithful fibromyalgia warrior. Sorry, that was a bit of a long introduction. I noticed that there have been some more people who have subscribed to the channel. Thank you so much. Honestly, that is so cool to me. It is. I get excited. Why? Because I'm not a celebrity. I'm nobody especially special as far as whatever. I don't have any books out on on the perfect way to follow keto. I don't have anything published as far as best ways to follow God. I just know what I do in my life practically and what has helped me, and I just hope it helps you guys, because that's why I make content. That's why I want to share my videos with you, because honestly, for me, I need both those things in my life. I need God and my faith in Him, which obviously it's more than just believing in Him. Faith in God is really shown through our actions. So it isn't just believing that there's a God, but it's having enough faith in God to follow what he tells me to do, follow what's in the Bible, follow his teachings, and therefore, as a result, grow in wisdom and maturity in my faith, and hopefully share that with other people who want to have the same thing. You know, that's my call as a Christian woman, I believe. But I wouldn't have been able to renew that deep walk with God if I hadn't found keto first. Okay, for those of you who have watched some of my other videos, I don't believe it's coincidence that I happened to find just the right videos on YouTube at just the right time, when I was in just the right place to make a change in my life that was going to allow me to then, if not remove all of my symptoms and all of my illnesses, it would at least reduce them enough that I could cope in life and manage and not feel like I was just a zombie constantly all the time. And I don't believe in such a thing as coincidence. I believe that God puts us in the exact places at the exact right time to meet the people that are going to impact us the most. And sometimes, you know, that means allowing us to go through hard times and challenges so that we can then learn from it, deepen our faith, and perhaps even have something to share with other people. You know, if I didn't have fibromyalgia, if I hadn't suffered a disc injury 8 years ago, or is that right? Yeah, 8 years ago. If I wasn't dealing with Raynaud's and IBS and a sensitive bladder or depression or anxiety or spending so many years of my life trying to recover from being bulimic, none of that would have happened. I would not have been able to move forward and find some degree of healing and wellness if I didn't have God. But I wouldn't have been able to really devote myself back to God if I hadn't been able to reduce some of the symptoms that I was dealing with physically and mentally. And so for me, the two things are both gifts from God. When I started to follow a ketogenic lifestyle protocol, now I'll be perfectly honest with you, I'm carnivore. I don't say I'm a strict carnivore because I will sometimes put a bit of barbecue sauce or a bit of mayonnaise on my food, or I don't eat just lean steaks. That's not what I do. And yes, I will drink coffee, whether it is full strength or decaf. And I can drink it black, or I'll have it with zero sugar almond milk, which, by the way, if you're looking, Alpro, which is the brand, has no sugar almond milk, as well as other alternatives. No carbs and no sugar in there at all. You can either buy it like long life form that comes already on the shelf, or you can buy the chilled version, which seems to mix better than the shelf stuff. Okay, no sugars, zero carbs and zero sugars. So you can actually have coffee with a dairy alternative, zero carbs, zero sugars, which is critical, right? Because I am lactose intolerant, so I don't do well with too much dairy. If I'm going to have any dairy at all, I might have a small piece of cheese or a couple pieces of cheese every now and again. I will cook with butter every now and again, but typically I don't have dairy. I can handle it better now because my gut seems to be slowly starting to heal. But yeah, so what is the ketogenic lifestyle or protocol? And again, I know that the word diet was only ever meant to describe somebody's eating habits. You know, like what is someone's dietary procedure or process? Whether it's paleo or keto or keto carnivore or vegetarian or vegan or pescatarian or something in between, right? Or the standard North American slash European diet. So I think, unfortunately, that word diet has become such a bad word because it's always about, I'm going on a diet. I'm going to restrict what I eat. I'm going to cut out all the stuff that I like that I'm not supposed to have for 2 weeks or 30 days or 60 days. And then when I lose the weight, I'm just going to go back to what I did before. And of course, all the weight's going to come back on again. We all know this. So it is a lifestyle. It isn't just about not eating something or eating something for a limited amount of time. It's about completely changing what we put in our bodies, what I put in my body. And one of the things, so basically, this lifestyle protocol, approach, whatever you want to call it, essentially here's what it is. Keep your carbohydrate intake to 20 grams total per day. And your carbs should come, if they're going to come from anywhere, they should come from non-starchy vegetables, up to 1 cup a day. If it's things like broccoli or cauliflower, or dark leafy greens, again, like say spinach or kale, again, limited amounts. If you want them, you don't have to have it, but if you want it, you can. Or from full-fat dairy, because those have carbs in them. If you're going to do fruit, the only fruit really, and I always forget it's a fruit, but it is avocado, okay, because it is not full of sugar. It is good, it is full of healthy saturated fats, and there are, of course, there's some fiber in there, and there's also carbs in there, but they balance each other out. So yes, they do count, but that would be an example of a piece of non-starchy vegetable / fruit that you may want to have a little bit of every day if you want it and if you can tolerate it. Now, outside of that, you want to be eating healthy sources of protein that are full of healthy fats. What does that mean? That means from the animal kingdom, you want to be eating sources of protein with the fat that comes with it. So sausages, pork chops, lamb chops, streaky bacon, egg yolks. You can have chicken wings, chicken drumsticks, any of the parts of, say, the chicken, of the bird, like wings or legs or where the dark meat comes from, with the skin on, right? You don't have to add like half a stick of butter to everything you eat. You can fry stuff in butter, add a little extra fat. Why? Because the saturated fats are good for the body. They're good for the brain, but also they're also good for helping you to feel satisfied and satiated. So as your body stops being a carbohydrate and sugar burner, it will switch to being a fat burner. And when your body adjusts and it becomes a fat burner and you're putting in healthy sources of fat, your body will find that you need less of it to feel satisfied and satiated. And the key is you eat until you feel satiated, not till you feel like you're stuffed and you're going to explode. You want to stop before you reach that point. So I'm learning how to mindfully eat, which is have some water with my food, slow down when I'm chewing, not rushing anything. Why? Because if we eat too fast, our brain doesn't get the signal that we're full and we overeat. And that's partly what puts us into the position of how we got to where we were in the first place. Okay, so 20 grams total of carbs per day, which should be coming from limited amounts of non-starchy vegetables, limited amounts of full-fat dairy if you can tolerate it. Other than that, eat whatever you like, whatever you like from the animal kingdom that you enjoy eating, if it's a source of healthy fats and good protein, whether it's from beef, lamb, venison, whether it's from fish, seafood, whether it's from chicken or turkey, any sort of poultry, and their eggs. Enjoy. Pick what you enjoy eating, what you like the taste of, what is affordable for you, and eat that. Because, it's got to be something that you can afford to do, but it's got to be something that's manageable and that's easy to find. You don't have to buy these Wagyu beef steaks, that cost a fortune. Or massaged, grass-fed, grass-finished ribeyes, or whatever it is. Now, this is more case in the States, not so much over here in the UK. Different standards. We have a lot less people, so it's a lot easier for us to find a lot of sources of food, whereas they have far more people, and Big Pharma stepped in, and so you get a lot of these things with feedlots, and you got a lot of cattle that are raised on grains instead of grass. So there's more fat in them, but is the meat is good for you? There's a whole lot of debate going on. But you know what? Whatever you can find, whatever you like, and whatever you can afford, do that. Because it's still better than eating slices of bread with margarine and peanut butter and jam slapped in between. The issue isn't the animal sources of protein. It's whatever we put them on or in between. So one of my favorite YouTubers, Go Keto with Casey, has said this before, which is, don't blame the butter for what the rice did. Don't blame the butter for what the bread did to our bodies. So we demonize butter as being the it problem for so long, and now we realize the issues with with diabetes and cholesterol and heart issues and blood pressure isn't because of the butter. It's because of all the carby stuff we put the butter on, which is crazy. My husband is very much on a quite a keto diet. Well, a lot more keto than he certainly was beforehand. And we were with some friends on the weekend. We had a house church service, like we got together as a small group at their place. And a couple of people had birthdays coming up this week, so somebody brought in cupcakes with icing, somebody else made a chocolate cake with icing, and he had a small piece. Fine, whatever. I didn't. He wanted to, fine. And he told me that within 10 minutes, because he hadn't had anything sugary or any sort of cake or whatever in a very long time, probably in months, that within 10 minutes of finishing it, he felt unwell. I mean, that's how fast this stuff affects our bodies, right? And we don't even realize it because we grow up this way with our favorite childhood sugared cereals and even the non-sugared cereals, and we think it's good for us because that's what we're told. We don't think about it otherwise. And meanwhile, not really. It's all just carbs, which becomes converted into sugar and gets stored as fat. So, anyways, so what's been helping me? Okay, well, my favorite meal, since you've asked, my favorite meal is fatty ground beef, some streaky bacon, and a couple of egg yolks with a bit of salt. That's my favorite meal. And that's what I crave when I get hungry. That's the kind of thing that I crave. And then I'll put on maybe a tiny bit of barbecue sauce and a bit of mayonnaise on top. Not always, but sometimes. And that satiates me. So if I have that, say, at dinner, and I try to make sure that I have dinner by 6, so my body has time to digest and process the food, so when it's time to go to sleep at night, I can fall asleep because my body's not working hard to still digest a late dinner. And I think that's why, we were always told, or the advice was given, don't eat late at night. Because when you do that, it's going to be harder to fall asleep because your body is still working to digest all this food, right? That's why it's always good to eat earlier in the evening when possible. And I found that that's made a real difference. We have a second doggy at the moment. We've had him for 6 weeks. We rehomed him from somebody else who couldn't take him anymore. And he's a spaniel, super, super good boy, but he consistently wakes me up, my husband up, at about 6 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes he needs to go out. Most of the time he wants to play fetch. Now, I'll tell him no, but he usually insists. He'll stand on us to get us up in the morning. Okay, so my internal clock has definitely been readjusting to wake up at that time. However, before we got our doggy, the one thing I was doing, and it's something based on some advice I saw from my other favorite YouTuber, Carnivore Yogi, and that's talking about getting a really good, healthy circadian rhythm going for my body, so I would feel rested at night. And I had been watching quite a few videos by other people. Some of them are all about, yes, you should intermittent fast, and yes, you should delay your first meal of the day as long as you possibly can, push through it. But what I was finding was that at night I was having a hard time falling asleep. And I didn't realize it was because, for one, my first meal in the day would often not be until 1 or 2 in the afternoon. And then I would probably delay making supper, and I would eat closer to 7. Well, 7 or even 8 sometimes. And while I'm ready to go to sleep, my body is still at work trying to digest and break down all the protein and get the enzymes going, get everything built up or broken down the way it should be, so that my body's ready to start the melatonin and let me rest for the night. And that was because I was eating, for one, I was delaying my first meal, and the second, for too long. And the second is I was eating too late in the evening. And it was making it hard for my body to fall asleep at night. One of the things she suggests is trying to get up with sunrise. Now, no, I'm sorry. I think I did it once or twice. I had to get up to go to the bathroom or let the dog out, and I happened to see the sunrise. And then I ended up sitting out I couldn't fall back asleep, so I went and sat on our sofa, and then I ended up falling asleep till about 7:30 or 8 in the morning, because sunrise is usually between 4 and 5, right? I'm not going to intentionally get up that early. Not going to happen, okay? So I wasn't going to make myself get up for sunrise. However, one of the things that she suggested trying, that she did, was making sure to eat breakfast within a couple of hours of sunrise, or of at least waking. Why? Because it helps trigger the body to stop making melatonin and to now go into work mode, right? To now, oh, here's food for fuel. It's going to provide energy. She's going to need it right pretty soon because her day has started. Let's go. And it's not that it switched over immediately, but over the last several weeks, I have noticed a difference. And it's been fantastic. Every morning when I get up, when Birdie wakes me up, I'll let him out. And usually now, let me correct my last statement. We can sometimes get him to go back and lay down and sleep till about 7. But on the mornings that we can't, I just get up and I let him outside into the back. And it's incredible because every day, the sun's already, I have missed sunrise, but I'm still the first one up in the house. It feels like I'm the first one up in the world. I can go stand out in my back garden, take my slippers off, stand on the grass, ground myself, and just feel God's presence. And it's amazing. Just to stand there, just hear all the different birds singing in the bushes and trees, listening sometimes if the wind's blowing, but just feeling like God is shining down on me. And sometimes I'll see the sun actually coming up through the clouds, and sometimes it's overcast like this morning. I couldn't feel the sun, but I don't know, this stress pattern reminded me that I don't see these solar flares or planets from here, but they exist. God made them, and he's up there too. So yeah, it was pretty pretty exciting. And the crazy thing, because one of the things that Sarah talks about, how when you look up at the sky first thing in the morning, bare eyes, even if you don't see the sun has red light, ultra red light, constantly shining down. And of course, it's stronger through the summertime, along with the UVB and UVA rays, but the red light's always there. And that signals through the eye to the brain, morning, it's time to get up. And it does work. I'm not saying it'll work immediately, like that second, but I always feel a burst of energy when that happens. So I get out, I step outside for maybe a couple minutes, and then when I come back in the house and I feed Birdie, and I'm up, and all of a sudden it's like, wow, I have this energy, I have this joy, because what, the weather's changed? No, because I know that God is with me. And I didn't get that at first. Okay, when I first started keto, that I didn't know any of this stuff at the time. This is what's been helping me recently. My food hasn't changed as far as what I make. I make the same thing for myself, because everyone's like, oh, don't you get bored? Sometimes I'll cut up a couple sausages and chuck it in there. This morning I cut up a breakfast sausage patty and mixed it in with the beef and a bit of bacon and egg yolk, and it was awesome, But the core basics of what I eat hasn't changed. And as Go Keto with Casey will say, and has said, the protocol, the plan, if you will, is simple. Not that it's easy, because if it was easy, we'd all be doing it, right? Kind of like, how we follow God, or how we worship God is simple. We love him. We love his son. We love him so that, how do we show love? We obey his commands. Theoretically, it's simple, right? But of course, that doesn't mean putting it into practice and doing it is easy. Because if that was true, more of us would do it, right? So it's not that it's an easy thing to do, but it is a simple thing to do. So once you've got the food part sorted out for yourself, you'll find that that's the simplest part. And for me, when I started to put the food part into practice, I cut out all starches, all carbs, period. That's it. I'm only eating animal products and nothing else. And for me, I noticed my IBS symptoms dramatically improved. My bloating is almost non-existent. Once a month, it's a bit there, but otherwise, it's not there. If I happen to have a little bit of cheese now and again, it does not cause me immediate constipation or bloating. Sorry for that TMI. I can actually find that I can handle it a little bit better. If I was to have a spoonful of cooked carrot pieces, not that I do that on the regular, but if I was to do that, it would not affect me like it once did. And that's because of the protocol, because it's been helping clear out my system. So I'm in remission from IBS. I'm in remission from a leaky gut. But I also know that if I start eating the crap I used to, then that would all go away. So that's why I stay off of no seeds, no nuts, no grains, no pulses, no legumes, no cereals, no gluten, no hot spicy foods, no fruits, and no vegetables. And that covers everything except for animal products, whether it's red meat, poultry meat, pork meat, maybe seafood because I hate fish, and egg yolks as a byproduct, okay? That's what I stick to. because I know it will nourish me and I will not react to it. I will not suddenly feel itchy or like I have a slight rash or that I'm bloated and in agony because of it. So all of these eliminations have not only helped reduce my arthritis, but they've reduced my fibromyalgia brain fog. And as soon as that happened, I have a friend from church who explained it. I didn't know how to put it into words, but the way she said it made perfect sense. She's like, so basically, you could say that keto helped you get your mind back so that you could turn your focus back to God. And it's true. And so if it works and if it's been helping me, why in the world would I ever go back? Some people ask me, oh, well, do you miss what you used to eat? No, honestly, I don't. I really don't. Because I don't miss the way it used to affect me and how horrible and sick and bloated and in pain I used to feel. I don't miss it. So I'm definitely never going to go back to it. But it's incredible to me that, thinking back about what people would have eaten hundreds, thousands of years ago, and how God provided all these animals for us. And yet somewhere along the way, we became so afraid of the fats and what it could mean for our bodies that we ate completely the wrong things. And in fact, for the most part, all the stuff that's grown, grasses, seeds, grains, cereals, etc., you know what? They were never grown for us to eat as humans. They were grown to feed livestock. Because most livestock has multiple stomachs. And so if they're eating wheat or oats or barley, it will get processed and out of their systems in a way that our bodies could never handle it. Same with corn, right? They can digest that stuff. Our bodies can't. And it was to help fatten them up, so the meat that they had would be more flavorful and fatty, which is great for the animals, for us to eat, horrible for us as people when it ends up on our bodies, right? So, this is why, sorry, it's another long one. I don't know, I feel like you guys are like in the room or something with me, and I'm a talker. If you ask my husband or my boys, they'll tell you, yeah, I'm a bit of a talker. But, you know what? It's for a good reason. I am feeling so joyful today and excited. I'm looking out the window right in front of me, and yes, there's patches of blue sky, and there's also bits of clouds floating around. It's probably going to rain again today, but it doesn't matter, because out of the whole universe, right, out of the whole big, massive universe that God made, He's looking after me. And like I said, I do not believe in a coincidence. He absolutely put me in a place at just the right time where, because of COVID and lockdown, we couldn't go anywhere. We ate lots of takeout and crappy food and put on weight. I mean, I'm not saying that's good. We could have chosen to do other things, but we did do that. So I needed to find a way to lose weight. I needed to find a way to manage my underactive thyroid and my fibromyalgia and my weight gain and all this other stuff. Part of it also probably because I was heading towards menopause. And at just the right time, as we were coming towards the first easing of restrictions at the end of May of 2020, that's what put me towards the path of eventually finding the ketogenic lifestyle. Because it is a lifestyle. It is a lifestyle. Being a Christian is a lifestyle. It's not just, well, I'm going to go to church every Sunday, maybe pray once or twice a week, and then do what I want. That don't even bother, right? Being a faithful Christian and living out my faith is a lifestyle. It's living my life and taking whatever moment I can. If I can share about how much I love God, how much God has looked after and loved me, fantastic. For those of you who are already faithful believers, you know what I'm talking about. And if you're interested in knowing more and you don't quite know how to do that, or what's involved, leave me a comment, message me. I'd be happy to talk about it more, or if you want to know if there's anything specific that you want to try, you don't know if it's going to work, if it's keto or not, feel free to ask. I will put this caveat though. It is living the keto lifestyle, other than do not exceed the 20 total grams of carbs a day. Everything else is individual. So it comes down to what you love to eat, what you think you might want to try eating, and going from there. Okay, but if you have any questions or you want to say something, please get in touch. I love when you guys leave comments. It makes me feel like, oh, yay, I've helped somebody, or, we just have a good chat about our faith or what we're trying with keto, be it keto, carnivore, whatever you want to call it. I think maybe I'll change it and call it Carbs-No-More instead of Ketovore. I don't know. That could work, right? But regardless, let's be a community. Let's support and help and love each other. Because isn't that why we're doing this? Isn't that why we're all here? I'd like to think so. This has been a longer than expected one, but then I guess, I don't know. Something tells me it's all okay. And hopefully you guys will enjoy this video too. But that's what's happening with me. That's what's going on in my life. And I just thought, you know what? It's not like my life has been perfect, because it isn't, but it's been perfectly amazing and full of joy. Why? Because at the end of this life, regardless of what happens next, I'm going to heaven. And that is worth rejoicing over. And I found a way of eating and living that helps me make the most out of my day, out of my life. And to be honest with you, people who suffer with chronic pain and illness, we just want to be able to get the most out of life. We don't want to be sick. We don't want to have to, slow down and not do the things we like anymore. Some things we have to, I cannot walk long distances. I need a wheelchair. And I don't want to have to always have someone push me in the manual chair. So my power chair is for me, so I can get out and be outdoors and get into town and see people and meet up with new friends. So for me, that's a lifeline. Okay, and I cannot change that, and that's fine. I don't even want it changed. It's happened for a reason, and I am thankful for God and to God that it has. But I'm even more grateful that my brain fog has cleared. Not completely, but 95% of it's gone. And you'll see here, these are my compression gloves. Okay, they help with my arthritis. So if I'm typing or talking with my hands for a long time and my wrist gets sore, this helps. But I tell you what, I've had days where I've been able to go several hours without having to wear them. And that was unheard of before. And even though my knees and my back still get sore, and always will be, between the fibro and my injury from 8 years ago, but you know what? I can manage it. My knees are sore right now. They ache. So do my ankles. So does my lower back. However, it is significantly better than what it was. Since I was able to, yes, lose weight, 65 pounds. But more importantly, I think, is that my overall, because my physical health was improving, my brain fog was dramatically lifting, so my mental health was already in a better place. I didn't feel like I was trapped like a zombie in my own life. And I was then ready to recommit my life and my faith to God. And I wouldn't go back. It's been amazing. Has it been perfect? No, of course not. And let me just say, anyone who tells you that if you go keto, you lose all kinds of weight and you'll have no problems in life ever again, don't believe it. It's a scam run the other way. But I can manage and I can cope. Why? Because now I can turn to God in prayer. Now I can nourish my body with healthy things, and I'm not polluting it with crap. And so I'm not adding to my anxiety by A, turning away from God, and B, filling my body with stuff it doesn't want, it doesn't need. So both things go hand in hand. So I hope this has been helpful. I've gone on long enough. I'm hoping to have more content soon. I hope you guys will continue to watch the videos and be supportive. And again, share them with anybody you want to, any platform you feel like. If it could possibly help someone else, please feel free to share. Again, I don't want any money for this. If I can help even just a few other people based on what I've gone through and what I know, then great. That's all I want. So, until the next video, guys, which I hope will be in about a week's time, possibly before, don't know yet. But until then, thank you so much for your support, for watching this one all the way to the end. I know it's a bit longer than I had planned on, but hey, there we go. Thank you so much for liking and supporting me. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe. It would be so great to just have as many people in this community as possible. Okay? Take care for now, you guys, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.